It was the purpose of this overall exercise with character exploration.
With character exploration, you are basically just doing that. You're exploring, you're finding the character within yourself as the actor.
Right.
Because as much as you'd like to sort of transform into someone else, it's very obvious that you are coming in as someone else onto the stage.
And there's a process to that.
Yes, there is a process, and each one has their own individual process. And finding that for each of the actors, or allotting time for them to find that, I feel is a gift that that any director can give the actors, but it's also just beneficial to the end product. So that's why I don't mind, having a whole day of just figuring stuff out.
Yeah. Do you have anything in specific that you wanted them to do? What were you looking for them? I mean, if you watch the rehearsal footage, there's a lot of different exercises that go on, but was there an overall goal, or was there a different goal for each exercise? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I'd like to think that I had everything all planned out, but but you can't. I sort of was going with the flow, just because I personally, as a performer, I have my own process, but I know that my process is not going to be beneficial to someone else who has a totally different way of thinking or a different way of working. But ultimately, what you want to do is have them be as comfortable as possible doing whatever it is they have to do to find these characters within themselves.
So comfort definitely was a huge aspect of this.
Oh, definitely, and it happens naturally when, for me, the rehearsal space is a sacred space.
Right.
That is where you are safe, and that is where you can say anything, and what happens there stays there. But it's also a place where you feel okay to fall flat on your face.
Exactly. There's no real mistakes to it.
Yeah, no, there are no mistakes, but there are also what I don't want to see is actors on stage making the easiest choices possible. Right. Because in everyday life, if everyone was making the easiest choice possible, then
it'd be so boring.
It'd be so boring, and nothing would get done. So on stage, what you do want to see is them going for it, them losing themselves in the moment.
Right.
Technically, like losing control, but if you allow them to lose control before they get on stage, then they feel much more comfortable doing that. They feel much more comfortable letting go and just going with the flow and doing whatever it is they have to do to make these characters real for them and also for the audience.
Yeah, it's funny when you watch the footage of the overall exercises. There's a lot of just interesting stuff that goes on in there, and you can see the looks on both Josue and Mauricio's faces are just totally focused on each other, and there was just so much great work done in it. Were there any moments in these exercises that you specifically remember and that really caught your eye that you could talk about?
For me, it's always about the smaller moments, and so for me, the moments that I really just gasped and just let out a huge smile were the smaller moments where they would literally just look at each other. And there's such a different one of my teachers, David Mold at Marymount, he always said, when you think differently about someone, you give them a look. And it's a different type of look. And once you get that look, you know everything that is going on in their heads. And when that happens, you realize that there's a connection. And so to see that in the rehearsal space was a gift to me, because I know that once they've done it, they're going to bring it into the actual performance.
Right.
No soy moralista, soy antimoralista.
¡Me pones como modelo!
No soy moralista, soy antimoralista.
¡Me pones como modelo! antimoralista. Lo pones como modelo.
Okay. Now, let's do the same thing again. But the reason you are saying your line is to change the way they are saying theirs. When that happens, you have won. And allow yourself to judge whether you won or you didn't win. But your reaction must be the line that you were saying. Let's start with Ken.
Yo soy moralista. Soy antimoralista. Me lo pones como modelo. Soy moralista. Soy antimoralista. Me lo pones como modelo. Yo soy moralista. Soy antimoralista. Me lo pones como modelo.
No soy moralista. Soy antimoralista.
Me lo pones como modelo. Yo soy moralista. Soy antimoralista. Me lo pones como modelo.
Joe, who won?
I don't know.
Ken, who won?
Why'd you let him win? Win!
You are saying your line to change the way they say their line. Allow yourself to decide who won. The point of the game is to win.
No soy moralista. Soy antimoralista.
Me lo pones como modelo.
No soy moralista. Soy antimoralista.
Me lo pones como modelo.
No soy moralista. Soy antimoralista.
Me lo pones como modelo.
No soy moralista. Soy antimoralista.
Me lo pones como modelo.
No soy moralista. Soy antimoralista.
Me lo pones como modelo.
No soy moralista. Soy antimoralista.
Me lo pones como modelo.
Ken.
Freddy, how good is Josue's impression of Mauricio?
It's really good. You guys should watch it. You should actually play that at the end of this video.
I will.
I want you to observe how Joe moves. Where Joe holds his weight. The way he listens. Joe, what's your line?
Aquel creador soy yo.
Can't make fun of Joe. Make fun of the way he walks.
Aquí el creador soy yo. Aquí el creador soy yo.
Aquí el creador soy yo.
That was good.
Aquí el creador soy yo.
Aquí el creador soy yo.